Are you wanting to max out your glute engagement on your Bulgarian split squats? If you're trying to grow your glutes, Bulgarians can be a great movement to have in your program, but only if you're doing them in a way that actually targets your glutes, because you should just burn my quads, honestly. I see a lot of people struggle with this, and it honestly took me like over a year to get these right and isolate my glutes. So these are my top tips. First, check your stance. Step your front foot out far enough so that when you lower down into the bottom position, your knee stays stacked over your ankle instead of driving too far forward. A closer stance where your knee travels over your toes will shift the emphasis more onto your quads, whereas that slightly longer stance keeps your knee more in line with your ankle. This will load your glutes more. Next, focus your torso angle. A slight forward lean rather than staying completely upright can help engage your glutes more effectively. Hinge forward at the hips, and instead of thinking of the Bulgarians as an up and down movement, like an elevator, think of them more like an escalator, where you're sitting down and back as if you're trying to tap your glutes on the box or the bench behind you. And I personally like to take balance out of the equation. I almost always use a supported version by lightly holding onto something stable. This lets me focus on my execution and push more weight and load the glute better. Just make sure not to cheat yourself and start to pull yourself up. It's a very light hold. Maybe the most important step is to be intentional with movement. Take your time and make the most of each rep by controlling the eccentric or the lowering part of the movement. Slowly sit your hips back and avoid bouncing out of the bottom. Slow it down and focus on that stretch in your glute, because that makes a huge difference in engagement. And lastly, make sure that your back leg is just there for balance, kind of like a kickstand. It's not there to push off of the movement, so focus on driving through your front foot as you push your hips forward. I like to think of keeping the dumbbell close to my leg and pushing my foot through the floor, the heel, the ball of the foot, and the toe. Small adjustments like this can make a huge difference in your engagement and help you get the most out of your Bulgarians. They help me,